that was successful at the time. A lot of these pioneers. He interviewed the Vanderbilts, Standard Oil. What's that dude's name? Rockefeller.
He looked at the rich people.
He went to the rich people because he wanted to find out exactly what they were doing. The reason I'm bringing this up is that he created this book. It's called The 16 Laws of Success, right? So today we're going to go into the competency development. But what I created was actually birthed from the 16 Laws of Success. And what I did, for those that really want to find out more about it, was I actually went in and I found the book online. It's actually right here. So I can send everyone a copy of this. All you got to do is click on these links and it'll take you into YouTube and it actually show you the 16 laws of success, and it's going to show you exactly what these folks did to condition their minds to become successful. Because at the end of the day, I would never have a money conversation talking about a dollar bill. Because money is not paper with ink on it. It's not. Rich people don't, you know how rich people don't talk about money like that? Because money is a consciousness. And that's what people miss. See, poor people believe that money is this thing. I go to the bank and I cash my check, or I give them 100 and they get, no, that's not money. Money's a consciousness. Everything is a consciousness. Poverty is a consciousness. Success is a consciousness. Does that make sense to everybody? It's a consciousness. It is what you believe. It's what you breathe. It's what you do on a consistent basis that determines what you have in this world. But for the most part, a lot of people that don't understand wealth, they're quick to think that it's this, I got $1 million in the bank. No, you got to have $1 million mindset before you can have $1 million in the bank. And I'll prove it to you very quickly. Because everything on the planet was manifest from a thought. That table that you're sitting at for this young man that's here right now, I'm going to go elementary for a second. That table you sitting at came from somebody's mind. That chair you sitting at came from somebody's mind. That jacket you got on came from somebody's mind. That bottle of water that's in front of you came from somebody's mind. Somebody seen a need and they created something and they got paid for doing it. Does that make sense? So the wealth wasn't in what they received on the back end, the wealth was in their mind the whole time. See, out here, they want to keep you bogged down and caught up in some BS, right? The this and that and struggle and this, and you got to be about that life. Well, while you're focusing on all that, you got other people that's out here focusing their mind to a point where they can keep selling to people like us that don't use our minds to create. Does that make sense? It's called a market, a demand. You see, so you get people when they grow up, they say, well, I want to be in music, right? Okay, great. If you want to be in music, that's fine. But what's going to be your niche? What's going to be that thing to get you out there? You see? And if you want to do clothes, what's going to be your niche? What's going to be that thing to get you out there? What's going to be that passion to get you up out of the bed each day and say, this is what I want, this is what I'm going to go get? Does that make sense to everybody? You see, it's all a consciousness. And when you come into that consciousness of self, the Muslims talk about it all the time. They say knowledge of self. All they're saying is a consciousness of who you are. The majority of people follow trends. The majority. Those that get money is trendsetters. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
It's trendsetters. They don't follow a trend, they make a trend. That's the difference. Okay, so week 6, what we're going to do, to go over the agenda very quickly, is this is just a greeting. So let me introduce myself to the new gentleman here. My name is Anthony Thomas. I own a company called Real Way, right? And Real Way was birthed to show individuals the real way for their life. The techniques that I teach is all about getting this right to get this right. Because everything out here is a manifestation of this, you see. And what we've been taught so often to do is to try to fix the effect without fixing the cause. What do I mean by that? Oftentimes when a person is doing something wrong in their life, they want to come and try to adjust the behavior that they're doing. They'll say, okay, don't put this here, put it over here. And then the person will come back, they stack it again, they put it here. Then they'll come back, they'll say, don't put it here again, put it over here. You know what the problem with that is? They're not adjusting, they're not addressing the cause of why they keep putting it here. So if they get into their mind and find out what's going on in their mind, it's causing them to keep making that same mistake. We hear people say, I don't know why I keep doing this, right? Because we don't diagnose what's going on in here. And once we find out what's going on in here and what type of programming we have to keep us making the same old mistakes over and over again, it will never get fixed. Does that make sense to everybody? Cool. So the company, once again, is just really designed around helping individuals to identify the real way for their life. You know, it's not this cookie cutter thing where people say, all you got to do is this, this, and this, and you'll be successful. Man, come on. If life was that easy, then a lot of people would be successful. But I will tell you that success is as normal as breathing air.
Well, you're right. I know it, man. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, I mean, there wouldn't be any poverty.
Poverty is a man-made situation.
Right, but what I'm saying is, there would never be a such thing as poverty.
It wouldn't. There wouldn't be a thing as low self-esteem.
Right.
If there was no thing as low self-esteem, then how many people would become drug addicts?
Pretty much.
Because why do they self-medicate? Pain, right? They try to cover up the pain. What is the pain coming from or stemming from?
Lack.
The lack of confidence in myself, the lack of belief in my ability, the lack of thinking that I'm beautiful, the lack of loving myself. It's all lack. And through that continuous lack, it creates what? Low self-esteem or no self-esteem. Does that make sense to everybody? Yes. That's what happens. And if we didn't have these things in the world, then what will we have? See, the key is this, and I tell people this all the time. I don't live in the physical world. I live in my mind. I don't live in the physical world. I live in my mind. I'm going to say it one more time. I do not live in the physical world. I live in my mind. What does that mean? That what happens out here is a manifestation of what's going on in my mind. I am here because I took the time to develop myself. I got off my ASS and I made changes. My family was destroyed. My kids couldn't stand me. My wife left me. I'm out here in these same streets, man, running these streets, man, getting with multiple women. Do you get what I'm saying? I'll be a plunger. Getting with multiple women because it was just easy to do. And I grew up that way. I was just telling a man, I went on the first cheating mission with my father. My dad.
Yep.
I didn't know it was a cheating mission at the time because I was young. But you know what I remember? These words. Don't tell your mama where we been. Come on now. When you get older, you know exactly what the words mean. You know what they mean, right? And I learned all this stuff, you know, from my dad. But I come to realize in developing real life, in developing these curriculums, and getting out here in these streets, that at the end of the day, we're only going to be in this world where we believe we are. So if you're having thoughts, if you're entertaining thoughts, if you're entertaining beliefs, if you're entertaining actions, if you're entertaining things that is undesirable to you, then you have to change it. You have to change it. Because people going to say, like we said about religion earlier, people going to say God will do it. Now, we all know about God, right?
Amen.
Now, how many times have you believed that God was going to give you something and then get up off your butt and you got it?
Do your part.
You gotta do your part.
Because faith, which is exercise,
Faith without action is nothing.
Is dead.
Faith without action is nothing.
Do you know what the word belief means? Be in belief. We talked about this. You think, right? So you got believe. That's E right there. So the be means exist. Leave means live. So whatever you believe, you have decided how you want to exist and live in this world. If I believe I do not have, that creates poverty. So what type of existence I'm going to have? An existence of not having, an existence of not being able. Does that make sense? That's what the word means. So whatever it is that you believe about yourself, remember when I said earlier that we're only going to become in this world that which we believe. That's what it is right there. And this is the truth, so help me. So help me. So whatever you decide that you want to believe about yourself, what you're really saying is that you have decided how you want to exist in the world. Because that's how people are going to see you. If you walk up and you timid and you shy, how are they going to interpret you? As what type of person? Passive, timid, shy, lack, right? But if you walk up and you about your business and you loving yourself and you loving all over others and you know that you're going to be able to accomplish your goals, then how would they interpret you in the world? How would other people see you? Successful. Motivated. Successful. I have people tell me all the time, they're like, man, you look rich. You see what I'm saying? All the time. Especially when I was out in corporate America wearing the suits every single day. Oh man, you look rich. You look rich. They wasn't telling me that I look rich because of what I was wearing, because other people were wearing what I was wearing.
No, you look like you believe and you belong.
Thank you. Game recognizes game.
There you go.
In this world. That's where the whole thing come from. You have to know how to play. And that's what I teach people. I come to teach you how to win. That's what I come to do. If you want to win, follow these techniques and you're going to win. And this works for every single person. I'm going to say this and we're going to move on. Because in this world, what you think consistently determines what you believe.
Yeah.
In order for me to get to a belief that I don't have, I must be thinking that I don't have it. Consistently.
Right.
It determines what you believe. What you believe determines what you do. So I said to Lynn earlier, I said, what if I told you that it's impossible to fail? Would you believe it?
Yes.
You don't believe it's impossible.
I believe it.
It's impossible. You were not created to fail.
Right.
Do you know why?
Because we are made in His image. We are created to succeed. We are created to lead.
Okay, so let's bring it down to a behavioral aspect of what's going on. Because see, I know where you're going, but some for us, that is so spiritually minded until it's of no earthly good. So what does that mean? It means that I can say that I'm created in the image and likeness of God, but if I can't recognize the behavior, the belief that goes into making that work in my life every single day, what I need to do per se myself, you get what I'm saying? This is where we miss it. When I was in church, people used to always tell me, Anthony, you're going to be great. Anthony, you're going to be this. Anthony, God's going to bless you. Anthony. Right?
Yes, sir.
But you know what? No one ever showed me how to do it. How to create it. There's always talking, but there's no examples in most cases of how to do it. So let's get down to the behavior of what's going on. I said that we were not created to fail.
I manifested.
Yeah, because you will become naturally good at whatever you do all the time.
Pretty much.
Okay? You got some people that wanted the street life, right? We all seen the shining lights. It looked good to us. They was partying, they smoking weed. You know, they drinking. It looks good, right? It looked entertaining. Plus, they went out there. We could be 100. It felt good. But the thing was, is that when we went into that life, we learned how to navigate it in a way that we could create and get what we wanted to get out of it. What does that mean? See, I didn't start off a player. I learned to be a player once I went into the life. Does that make sense to everybody?
Well, it can be looked at in another way too.
Go ahead.
It can be looked at as you learn to be a manipulator.
True. But once
You
I
learn to manipulate your situation and the situations that involve you.
That is correct. So to my point, we will become naturally good at whatever we consistently do. See, I think what we need to do is change the idea of this word called failure. Because in order to fail, it means to stop, right? It means to not continue. We can have some disappointments, not necessarily disappointments. We can have some positions in life where we try to setbacks, right? When we go and we try to do something, it doesn't work out.
But that doesn't mean quit.
That doesn't mean quit, and we're not a failure. That just means we hit a setback.
Only a failure is only a quitter.
Exactly.
If you quit, then you can say that you failed.
Exactly.
As long as you don't quit, you don't fail.
Then if you don't quit, what's going to happen?
That means you're going to strive to do better. Or
You're going to accomplish whatever it is you're doing, right?
Accomplish what you intend to.
Okay, so in order to succeed in anything, it means to accomplish what you set yourself to do, correct?
Accomplish a goal.
So even if I set myself to be out here in the street life doing the wrong things and I become successful at it, which means the manifestation of the street life is in my life, what does that mean? I'm going back and forth to jail. I'm lying. I'm doing all the stuff that you see in the street life. Then that means that I have successfully accomplished my goal. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, get this right here. It's deep, isn't it? It's deep. And get this right here. So, if that is true, then the flip side must be true, right? So, if I set myself on my goal of accomplishing more, doing more, okay, let me use myself. I wanted to become a better father. I said my kids couldn't stand me. They couldn't. They didn't even want to see me come around. That's how bad I was. How dare me think that I can come in and hurt their mama and that not affect them? So what I did was, and I share this with the class all the time, when I got my act together, I went to each one of my kids, looked them in the eye like a man, and I apologized.
Straight up.
Straight up. I did it straight up. Ain't no ducking it. You know, my wife still doesn't have a relationship with her father that was absent. You know, with a man that gave her life that was absent, because that's not a father. Either you are a father or you not. There's no such thing as no deadbeat father. Someone said today that's an oxymoron, and that's true. Because a father has one definition. Still, because he wants to keep trying to shape the reason why he wasn't there, instead of coming to her saying, baby, I failed you. Does that make sense to everybody? So check this out. Hey, how you doing, brother? So when I decided for myself that I was going to become a father, I went to my kids and I started acting and behaving like what? A father. Showing up, apologizing, and told them that you will never ever see this behavior come from me again. That was 20 years ago. And I never once went back. I never once went back to the streets. I never once went back to that life or anything. And that's why I'm where I am today. I will never sit here and tell anyone to do something I have not done. Period. The other day, here's something very quickly. The other day, there was something on television, and it said that teachers, people that can't do teach. Have y'all heard that before?
Right. I heard that, yeah.
Okay.
People that can't do
teach. Now, my question to the group is, if people that can't do teach, then why would you want somebody that can't do it teaching you?
Pretty much.
How you?
Speak on, bro.
Yeah, I know, he's on. Have you ever thought about that? If they can't do it, then who told them that they was the best candidate to be put in a position to show me how to start a business if you can't even run your own business?
Pretty much.
You see? So that's the reason why I say that I would never tell you to do anything I don't do. You gotta lead by example. Now getting back to your children very quickly, here's another thing with your kids.
Right.
If you want your kids to be successful, what do you think you need to do? Refreshments, everybody, come down.
Encourage them, motivate them.
So we got encouragement, we got motivation.
Believe in themselves.
Believe in themselves. What is the best way to encourage, motivate, and show your kids to believe in themselves?
Believe by example.
Say it again.
Believe by example.
They gotta see you do it. Come on, man. I know it says we walk by faith and not by sight, but let's just be real for 1 second. How many of us?
Everybody use metaphors though. See,
exactly.
when everybody really, if you can analyze the things that you're doing yourself, and analyze and understand the things that you read, and you try to manifest in your life, then you understand what it is.
That is so true.
I mean, it's the Bible, man. You can read the word all you want, but if you don't try to manifest any of that into your life,
then all you're doing is you're just reading.
Right, you just read it.
You just read it.
You read the Playboy.
Yes.
You know what my daughter said to me?
What's that?
Because I'm always telling her, you need to read. She always wants to go out and go play and then think that, I tricked her. I'm going out and play and I don't have to read. So I said, you need to go in there and read. You know what she said to me?
What's that?
I don't see you read. I'm like,
See?
I said, but I read you. She don't see me read, but I do read.
Okay. So what did you do?
So I had to start reading. I had to start reading. I started sitting down and reading to her.
Okay. So I don't believe in excuses. I just believe in adjustments.
There you go.
No excuse. Adjust. See, because the word excuse, when people say, well, you just don't see me read, but I do read, instead of you falling into giving her an excuse, which she would have seen right through it anyway, because she just told you that she don't see you reading right, you made an adjustment. Right. So what does that do? That brings accountability back to the table. Because she said the reason she don't do it is because you don't do it. Now, what excuse would she have once you start doing it? There isn't any. The issue that we have oftentimes in life is we have too many choices. Why does a person perform better when they hit rock bottom, class?
Because you have nowhere to go but up.
We got 2 choices, die, come up. But as long as Uncle Pete will bail you out, they call it enablers. You see what I'm saying? As long as Susie, Uncle Susie, or Mama, or Daddy will bail me out, That's a choice. But the moment, even in a little intervention show, the moment
I was
people
still
come,
doing the same dumbass shit I've been doing.
Yes.
yes, does this make sense to